Well, up next on the show, as we've been hearing in the news, it's been making its way to Winnipeg for the past 2 weeks on a 5,000-mile journey that crisscrossed the border with the United States. Talking about the 22-foot-long totem pole, where today the journey ends here in the city. The Trip for the Pole is an environmental awareness initiative from the Coastal Salish peoples, an Indigenous nation from the Pacific West Coast. Jewell James is in studio. He is the totem pole's master carver and head of the Lummi Sovereignty and Treaty Protection Office. Good morning.
Good morning. Glad to be here.
Tell me a bit about why you're traveling with this totem pole.
Well, the Lummi Nation is very concerned about the quality of the waters, especially the Salish Sea, and we formed an alliance with other tribal peoples and other organizations that are also concerned about the quality of water, air, and land. And
you're looking specifically everywhere you go at sort of also more localized issues. In Manitoba, what is top of mind for you?
well, we know the pipeline east is coming through, and it's highly toxic, and it will pose a threat to almost every stream and creek in between the tar sands to the east coast.
Tell me about the pole itself. You've carved it from top to bottom. How long did it take you?
Well, we started in April, and we finished just the day before we headed out for this 2-week journey.
Can you describe to the listeners what it looks like?
Well, up on top, it's got an eagle with a 12-foot wingspan. It's got a moon on the chest, a symbol of the Father Sky in front of the tail cluster. It's got a wolf on the right, a bear on the left. It has a spear in between them. Neither one's holding it because they're at peace. There's 4 white buffalo heads carved below that. One has a human in the buffalo. It's a Cheyenne myth. Cheyenne River Sioux, excuse me. Below that we have a warrior on the right that's part of the Peyote cult or Peyote church, depending on whose version you talk to, but it's over 10,000 years old in regards to the religion itself. On the left is a peace pipe or a prayer pipe carrier.
Why do you know how to carve? Who taught you to carve?
Well, my younger brother actually started carving under a master carver, and I started picking it up while I was in college in order to help him. So that's been 44 years ago.
What does it feel like to carve something like this with such significance?
Well, it's a 150-year-old cedar, and it is a soft wood, and that's considered a young tree. We'd like to carve the older stock if we can, but it's great. I know for most people this is a very large tree. For us in the Pacific Northwest, it's a small tree.
Why are you ending your journey here in Manitoba?
Well, we want to be gifting the totem pole to the Manitoba Chiefs. It's going to go to where the two rivers meet. It's a sacred grounds, but it's to encourage the First Nations people to protect the air and the water and the land.
How do you move it? Like, what's your actual physical journey been like moving this?
Well, we have a large flatbed truck. The journey itself has been really great because we've been greeted by environmental groups, church groups, First Nations people. We've stopped in cities that are at risk for fossil fuel transport going through by rail, whether it's tar sands or bracket oil or coal. There's a major concern amongst the public that nobody's hearing their voices, and so we've been encouraging people to unite and reach out to their elected officials and hold them accountable.
How significant is a totem pole to begin with? I think sometimes in the prairies we take for granted some of that. When, of course, BC, where I visited many times, you really learn and understand what that means.
Well, for us, it's a song, dance, ceremony, legend, myth, and folklore, and especially symbology is all a part of our traditional culture and our spirituality, and it binds us to the earth. For other people, if you look at it in a psychological view, it will remind you of something, and we're not here to interpret it for you, but to encourage you to think about your relationship with the world around you.
Oh, tell me a bit more about what's happening today. This is this morning or this afternoon? What's the plan?
Well, we're going to go meet with the Manitoba Chiefs and over to the sacred grounds there, and we're going to transfer ownership over to them, and then we're going to be working with them. We follow them. They're the guides.
Thanks so much for coming in. Really a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you.
That's Jewell James, the Totem Pole's master carver and head of the Lummi Sovereignty and Treaty Protection Office. So if you want to see the totem pole between 3:30 and 7:30 this afternoon is the time. Between 3:30 and 7:30, the group, as mentioned, will meet with the Assembly of Manitoba Chiefs and the Manitoba Energy Justice Coalition as well. That's happening at the Udina Circle out at the Forks, or down at the Forks rather. If you want to read more about this as well and see photos of the totem pole, cbc.ca/Manitoba.